lived at Rough in North London for about a year. I was pretty much homeless for about 3 years.
I came here by chance. In those days, my self-esteem was very down.
I've come out of a 40-year drink and drug addiction, and I started chemotherapy about 2 months ago.
In and out of jobs, so on and so forth. Pretty unstable home life.
A set of keys to a flat doesn't take away how a person's life has left them feeling about themselves, about their place in the world. But for me, it's the kind of stuff that we're doing at the choir and other similar things are doing that kind of gives people back their sense of self-worth.
I had the idea behind the choir it would be 5 years and a bit ago now. I was working for St Mungo's, which is a big homeless hostel provider in London. So I was working with homeless people and singing, basically, and thought that it might be quite good to put the two together. A friend of mine who is a designer came up with a poster that was just yellow with black writing on, which is kind of where our whole identities come from. We put that up in hostels and day centres. Just set the first rehearsal up and hoped people would come.
For the minute I got there from the get-go, it's just, oh, I'm staying here. Can I come back next week? Please, can I come back?
And the first day that I come, when they was singing one of the Black Eyed Peas, it just blew me away. Just blew me away.
It's a place where you just have to be yourself. You don't have to pretend that you're someone else.
It's a great way to socialise and to beat the isolation.
There were 4 people that first night, basically, and then I think 8 the following week, and it's grown steadily since then. And then the organisation has grown steadily on top of that as well.
I've progressed enough to be able to be in a position to volunteer my services, my help.
I feel accepted here. I feel at home.
I feel like it's more like family now.
One of the biggest highlights for me has been the overall journey, I think, of our Birmingham choir. There were so many people at the first rehearsal, and then it's kind of it's really blossomed and it's making a real difference.
We hit the ground running, really. I mean, at our first practice we got over 20 people and haven't looked back. We practice every week. Numbers have been sort of steadily growing. We're up to about 30 to 40 now. I would say probably the majority wouldn't consider themselves musicians or singers before they come, but are often pleasantly surprised when they're put in a group with other singers and find themselves singing along and find their voice.
Finish at about 8:30 and then sit down to the lovely dinner that our volunteers would have been cooking for us whilst we've been rehearsing.
It's good food, yeah.
We can go on together with suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds.
I guess people that have experienced homelessness are used to being sidelined, maybe being ignored, being pushed to the bottom. Suddenly they're on stage, the lights are on them, the audience is applauding and encouraging them, and that's got to feel good.
It's such a great organisation to work for because you can see the difference that it's making to people.
But I really do love the choir. I love it.
I'm more able to take control of my life.
We are one voice, that we support each other.
Well, I think we're just going to get bigger and bigger.
I can finally sort of say, hand on heart, yeah, okay, this is one thing I know I can do, and I can stand up and say, I can do this. Just something that where you have a skill, you develop it, and you reach your potential with that thing. And I've never ever had that with any sort of thing in my life.
You can always get